Okay, so let's talk about your degree now, what it is that you're here to study. What you need to understand from the outset is that the way you plan your degree is, again, your call. A full-time student, a part-time student is the way that we need to understand from the outset the 24 units. 24 units is what most degrees basically have. You're talking about, for most students, a 3-year course. A 3-year course basically consists of 4 units in one semester, 4 units in semester 2, that's 8 a year. Over 3 years, that's 24 units. So that's for most degrees here at the university. A lot of students, or a number of students, might be doing double degrees. What that means is they're going to be doing 4 years, doing 32 units over that period of time. Again, 4 units per semester. Now clearly you can choose to do full-time study, part-time study, and that means doing up to 4 units, full-time. 2 units is usually seen as being part-time. 1 unit can also be seen as part-time. 3 units can also be seen as being full-time. And on top of this, there's going to be ways in which you can do some courses which are online. Not all courses require you to come to classes. So what you need to understand is that you choose how many units you want to do. But if you do it in the full-time way, meaning 4 units, it'll take you 3 years to do a single degree and 4 years to do a double degree. So this is the way it basically works. And university, with this undergraduate thing with single or double degrees, is the lead up to, for those students who want to do what they then call 4th year honours. Now 4th year honours becomes your stepping stone to postgraduate study. And postgraduate study, essentially in the most simple way to understand it, is to make sure that you understand that bachelors can become a master's, can become a PhD. And clearly those who are doing well and often have to be invited and have got really good marks apply to do 4th year honours and then go on and perhaps do a master's and then a PhD. And that's postgraduate study. And that's a really important thing to understand. However, from the beginning, you're going to be talking about undergraduate as you start your university course. And that means thinking about the 2 basic semesters and the idea that you're going to have the other shorter terms of study, the winter and the summer. So we have 6-week units, often they're even less than 6 weeks, 5 weeks, where you can essentially do 1 unit, maybe 2 at the most, if you're really pressing to finish your degree quickly, or if you failed or dropped out of some units and you want to, if you like, fast track and keep up with the others. So you can do some units over winter, you can do some units over summer. It means you don't get a break. You basically work all the way through the year. Most students work for the 2 main semesters. Most students study for the 2 semesters. However, the way you go, how you go is going to be completely up to you. It's your choice as to how to re-enroll. You will re-enroll every single time you're going to be doing this. This degree is your journey. This degree is the way you in fact have to start to think about how you're going to manage your time, how you're going to manage the 3, 4, whatever number of years you're here. Add to that the idea that you can in fact do some placement, some industry placement. That means IBL. Industry-based learning is something that we have in nearly all the faculties, and you can spend 6 months up to a year getting placed in a job that you might be interested in getting when you actually graduate. As well as that, another really exciting thing about being at university, you can take a semester basically studying abroad. Swinburne Abroad allows you to study in many other countries for 1 unit, and the units that you do in another country can then be counted for the units that you do when you're doing the Swinburne unit. So having this opportunity to travel overseas, speak another language if you can, but basically most of the languages that they speak when you go to a university are in English, they're going to be taught in English. However, it's going to give you a wonderful experience in living in another country, and that's a really important issue. Now, if they are the more positive sorts of things that you can do when you're at university and an understanding of what you're doing, the other thing is to understand is that you can in fact take time off. It's called leave of absence, deferring your studies. A lot of students, for financial reasons, personal reasons, health reasons, whatever, need to take some time off. The university basically allows you to have 2 semesters off, meaning you can have leave of absence. Once you're enrolled, it's like you can have your gap year later, if you like, for whatever reason that you choose. You put in for an application, and basically the university is flexible enough. You come back whenever you are ready to come back, whether it's in 1 semester or 2 semesters, and you resume your studies from where you left off. And that gives, again, added flexibility to the way you can work full-time, part-time, or basically taking a year off. That's a really important thing to understand. The next thing I want to talk about is the way you start to choose your units. This becomes a really crucial way to understand the way the university works, because a lot of students get it wrong, and in a sense, no one stops them. They basically are doing units out of order. What you need to understand is that each unit you study has a code. The code, it's a letter, so for example, POL would be a politics unit, for example, but the number that comes after that is the crucial thing. By and large, this is the rule you need to understand. And again, it's amazing how so many students get this wrong. If the number has a 1 after it, the code indicates that it's a first year subject. And basically, as I'm sure you understand, you should be doing a first year subject before you do a third year subject. It is amazing how many students end up looking at the subject names and thinking, gee, that sounds a really interesting subject. For example, cinema studies is a really interesting sounding subject, yet it's in fact a third year unit, and there are prerequisites. You need to in fact have first year units completed before you do this. Now, sometimes the administration will catch you out, but there are too many examples where students don't understand that it's their responsibility to make sure they do their units in the right order. And you're going to be re-enrolling at the end of each year by yourself and making sure that you do the right number of units in the right way.
This has been a Swinburne production.